Here we go with example number 10 on inequalities and application of this. I would suggest you read these questions before you watch the videos. But basically, we want to find out how long it will take for the blood alcohol of a woman to be under the legal limit. So there's two formulas for blood alcohol, and since we're dealing with a woman, it would be that B subscript W, blood alcohol of a woman, and under would be less than, and the legal limit in Kansas is the number 0.08. So when will the blood alcohol of that woman be under the legal limit? There's your inequality symbol, under, less than. All right, so if we transfer the formula for women underneath there, 10FP over W minus 0.015H less than 0.08. So frankly, that formula for men is irrelevant to the question, and it was just there to see if we recognize that. All right, now, I think it would be time to plug in the information for this specific situation. So here we are. It says that Suzanne weighs 140 pounds, so that would be her weight. All right, and she has consumed 60 ounces, and that's the F. How many fluid ounces has she consumed? And it's 6.2% alcohol, so that's 0.062. So we're just reading this and jamming the numbers in. And the question is, how long will it take? And that's H. How many hours will it take? So the point is, the variable we're solving for is H. And so there we go. We take the information from her specific situation and we plug it in, and H is our variable. Okay, now, space is at a premium here, so take a look at that. I went ahead and multiplied these three numbers to simplify this a little bit. So pause if you need to, but I went ahead and multiplied those three numbers, and they came out to be 37.2. So here's our inequality. Solve for H. All right, so there you go. I'm going to go with my good old friend here and change it into an equation. So 37.2 over 140 minus 0.015H equals 0.08. This is a sidebar, all right? And that would be a linear equation because the H is to the first power. So that's assignment 8. That's a long time ago, all right? That should be an easy one. So clear fractions, yeah, I would suggest that we multiply both sides by 140 to get rid of that fraction there. And again, sorry that things are running into each other. I would love to have more board space here, but it's just not going to happen. So 140 times that fraction would cancel and leave the numerator. And then 0.015 times 140 is 2.1 H, distribute, and then 0.08 times 140 on the other side turns out to be 11.2. All right, and then separate the variables from the constants, which would prompt us to subtract over the 37.2, leaving the following equation, negative 2.1H equals negative 26. And then we would divide by negative 2.1. And H will be approximately, and I'm going to be okay with an approximate answer here. Let's call it 12.38, approximately. There's more digits, don't worry about it, okay? I just want to know if you understand the general idea. So there's that. Linear, H to the first power, one number. Okay, now with division by 0, you might say, there's a fraction here, oh no! But if you look, the bottom is a number. It's not, doesn't have a variable down here. It's a constant, so that's not a problem. Don't need to concern ourselves with division by 0. So here we go. We've got our number line. This is hours. How many hours has it been since Suzanne stopped drinking? That's basically what the H is. How long will it take for her to sober up? Okay? And so we'll put the 12.38 there. We'll talk about converting that a little bit later. Again, here's the deal. Equal doesn't really cut it. So 12.38 hours, at that moment, she'll be exactly at the 0.08. And that's not, she's got to be under it. If she has a blood alcohol of exactly equal 0.08, she's in trouble. We don't want that. That's the visual for that, right? There's no equal, just like before. All right, so we'll test 0. I always pick 0. So 0, if you plug that in for H, that disappears, and it's basically 37.2 divided by 140. So 37.2 divided by 140, this left-hand side is about 0.27, and over here is 0.08. Again, put 0 there, that's gone. This divided by this is this. What is that? 0 hours after she quits drinking. In other words, the moment she stops drinking, her blood alcohol is going to be 0.27, and that is obviously greater than the 0.08. That's not good. Let's test the other side. Let's see what her blood alcohol would be 15 hours later. That's bigger than the cutoff there, isn't it? Okay, so if you put 15 in for H, that's going to be 37.2 over 140 minus 0.015 times 15. We're putting 15 in for H. And again, the question is, how will her blood alcohol compare to the 0.08? So, you do the arithmetic on that, and you see that this side, which is her blood alcohol after 15 hours, is going to be right around 0.04. And that is indeed less than the 0.08 as required by law. She's under. She's less than. So, yes, that would be acceptable in the eyes of the law. So, there we go. Now, pause if you need to, write these things down. From a purely mathematical point of view, wouldn't this be the interval parenthesis 12.38 comma infinity? Okay? But there's a couple of things about it, and that's good, that's fine, that's good math. But you know, again, in my opinion, that doesn't really totally realistically answer the question the way most people would say it. So let's talk about that a little bit. First of all, 12 hours, that's a whole number, so I'm going to be okay with that. That's 12 hours. But I would tell you that the 0.38 is not 38 minutes. It's roughly 38% of an hour. So what I would tell a person is that that decimal portion of an hour, 0.38, would need to be converted into minutes. And since there are 60 minutes in an hour, I would suggest we take that 0.38 and multiply it by 60. And so if we take that 0.38, 38% of an hour, times 60, we would see that it is about 22.8. And so, let's round up a little bit just to be on the safe side. How about 23 minutes? All right, so what I would tell you, and I'm going to put this on the screen in a minute, is that she would have to wait till after, past that time period for her to be able to drive, basically. And so, if you look at the examples that were uploaded here, I think a good answer to give here would be to say, Suzanne will be under the legal limit after approximately 12 hours and 23 minutes. So please try to give a word answer like that. That's what the world wants. They want words. So that's what I would ask you to do, and I hope that made sense. And so that wraps up inequalities, and good luck with those. Thank you.